Hello everyone, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. We just wanted to give you a bird's eye view of what it took to get our quarter-acre market garden covered and ready to go as a no-till organic regenerative market garden. In this photo, we are obviously up in the woods with a wheelbarrow, gloves, long sleeves, and long pants on, gathering pine straw, leaves, and old wood. If you're doing this in the South, please watch out for snakes. Now here, guys, you can see we've opened up and laid down one layer of newspaper. What you see on top of that newspaper might look like dirt, but it's actually compost that we make here on our farmstead in our chicken coop. It is a combination of chicken and rabbit manure, leaves, grass clippings, and all the waste products from our garden. Goes back into our chicken coop, and they do an amazing job turning that into a beautiful organic compost for us here at Starkey Farmstead. Now we're going to layer on top of all of this newspaper, and what we're trying to do is smother out the grass and put a covering down. Basically, we wanted to give the soil and the microbiology something to work with. And we figured if we could put down the newspaper and cover it with leaves, that it would keep most of the grass out. Well, I'm here to tell you that newspaper by itself is not thick enough, even when you add your leaves on top, to keep any kind of major grass breakthrough. And as you can tell, we did not take up the grass prior to setting up our no-till. We basically cut the grass, put the newspaper down, and started directly on the grass as is. We did that because we did not want to disturb the soil, but because we also wanted the grass to die and add nitrogen back to the soil. Here I am now layering with the pine straw on the leaves, and you can see this was a several step process. Once we got everything covered, we pulled out just plastic tarps and covered it up. This was about a 2-day project for this small area. Now, the hay has arrived and we are super excited. Watch how much faster the process goes. We just lay the hay directly on the cut grass. We continue to lay it down in sections using a string line to keep it straight. We're actually aiming for a market garden that is a quarter acre. That's 108 by 108 by 108. You can see a small section of the original area I was covering with newspaper to your right there. But look how much more we got covered with this organic hay. Now you can find organic hay by just talking to local ranchers and farmers in your area and ask them, are they spraying any kind of herbicides or pesticides? Most of them will be 100% honest with you. Now here we are transplanting directly into the soil because last year in 2022, we put the hay down and immediately put the plants in. So we didn't have any prep time to get our soil where it needed to be. And we are gardening on Louisiana red clay that was compacted. Now our soil has amended greatly, and if you want to see that, continue watching to the end of the video. What we use to fertilize is rabbit manure, compost, worm castings.
Especially in South Louisiana right now, with the sweat pouring out of you and the fog and no sun, 100 degrees. Always start on the furthest point, away from it, as far as you can get. Work back toward you. As it gets hotter and hotter, you're going shorter and shorter. And before you burn out in the heat, you finish. Start here. Time you get halfway, the sun's beating you, and you got further and further and hotter. So you work smart, not harder.
All right, so that's a tip from my dad for today. Let me point out to you guys, when I was working by myself last week, because he was on some antibiotics, you see what section I got done? Closest to the hay bale. You see where my dad put me to work today? Furthest from the hay bale. And we will actually get all this done. I mean, I have the honor of having him in my life daily, and I know better. Like, guys, sometimes it's so hard to resist closest out. He is correct. Start at the furthest end of your rows, work back towards the hay bale. Next thing I want to point out is we've got the old handy dandy string line going on today. And the reason for that is, one, this is the pond, literally right there. Look at the distance between the edge of the garden and the pond. My husband didn't want me to fall off, but you can tell when I was doing it by myself last week, look how far off I was. Look at that. Look how much I went way out here. So string lines are a must if you're going to make it straight and pretty. All right. And they're easy to step on, so people with wheelbarrows can just push right over it and that string line back up. So after 2.5 months of prepping the soil, aerating it with the broad fork, you can go back and look at our no-till playlist. We have each video listed for you in order as we did it to help you see how we started this 1/4 acre organic regenerative market garden. But as you can see here, we are basically finished with the hay. We've brought out the 6 mil industrial tarps. I threw away the plastic tarps from Walmart. They do not work. Do not waste your money. And as you can tell, we've got some beautiful plants coming up in this video. Again, this picture was taken in 2022. And at the end of the video, I will show you real quick how well the garden is doing in 2023. This is technically our first complete year with the no-till organic regenerative market garden. And I will tell you guys, I never want to garden any other way. The pest pressure can get to be a bit much, but I'm telling you that every time I get more plants into the soil, every time that I amend my soil again with more organic hay or worm castings or rabbit manure, I'm seeing healthier plants, which means less disease, less pest attacks. So stay the course, don't get discouraged. No matter what you decide to use as your mulch or your covering on your no-till heavy mulch garden, whether it's leaves or hay or a combination, just remember it's going to be labor intensive when you begin. And every single year, you're going to have to add that covering back, especially if you're in hot, humid climates like Southeast Louisiana, where we get a lot of rain, we have a high humidity. It breaks down this heavy mulch really, really quickly, guys. Now, the best thing about that is that every year what that is doing is it's breaking down this heavy mulch and it's actually turning it into compost, which is amending our soil. Let me show you guys real quick. When I move back this heavy mulch, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. All right, remember look at the earthworm, just that quick. There's the worms. So lots of good reasons why you should no-till, but that's obviously like last year's hay, right? Still breaking down. This is this year's hay. But you just want to protect the soil. Protect it at all cost. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.